This video is sponsored by the Krusty Krab. Come spend your money here.
Equipment set up in my living room. They have the cameras because, yes, I am part of filming a documentary. And let's talk about it.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Yes, I've returned to your phone, your computer, your TV, your tablet, your laptop. I don't know what you're watching me on right now, but welcome back. It's me, it's Malcolm, and today, it has been a while since I've talked about Trisha Paytas on this channel. How long has it been? Well, long enough for Trisha not only to get married, but have a baby in that time. Why are we here today? Well, I'm sure you can guess by the title. Documentaries are a film or video examining an event or person based on facts. The word can also refer to anything involving documents. The idea of documentary as meaning pertaining to documents came about at the beginning of the 19th century. Later, it came to mean a factual record of something. That is why we're here today. I first heard about this documentary through Peter Mon's channel, who watched Adam McIntyre's video on the matter. So I figured, why not look at the two existing videos Trisha Paytas made about this documentary, because from looking at the comments, a lot of people seemingly aren't for this documentary. I don't think this video will be super long, at least I'm hoping it's not going to be. But I would still like to break it down into 3 parts. So the first part being Trisha Paytas' videos and in her own words what this is all about. The second part, I just want to read off the people's reactions, because a lot of people had different opinions and criticisms. Oh, hello. Oh, my cat jumped up. He wanted to say hello. He got cuddly. It is 3 in the morning, and he woke up from his nap. And the third part being what this documentary group could have done differently. And maybe we can look up the person that's in charge of this group and the other stuff they have worked on, just to see how legit they are. I'll try to keep any clips from Trisha Paytas' videos short, because I do know there's a company called Superbam that I've dealt with Tana Mojo videos that have claimed my videos. They kind of claim videos on the creator's behalf. Trisha said she's not affiliated with them, but oh, hi buddy, you okay? Trisha said she's not affiliated with them, but so if I do get claimed by them, I'm gonna fight it this time because she said she's not affiliated with them. So without further ado, let's talk about these videos. Bam! So welcome to part 1, where we're pretty much going to be breaking down the 2 Trisha Paytas videos that are specific to this documentary. I do know that there are other places she talked about this documentary. Why do I keep saying documentary? It's documentary. So there are multiple places where Trisha Paytas talked about this documentary, but I'm only focusing on the 2 YouTube videos that specifically talk about it. The first one is titled My Reddit Documentary, and in parentheses it says currently filming and looking for people, which I don't know, that seems like a bad sign, but I tried to go into these videos with an open mind, try to see where Trisha Paytas is coming from. So it first starts off with Trisha Paytas showing the house off, showing the documentary people's equipment, and saying something about how she's also had to organize because of this international reality show being filmed around the same time. I just want to say this now, just to get this out of the way. Yes, Trisha Paytas does have a messy house, but I don't think it's fair for any of us to comment on that. I did notice a few comments slamming her about this, but honestly, she is like a new mom and all, and I just think it's perfectly normal. And if you're going to criticize Trisha on anything, I don't think the cleanliness, I can't say that word, the cleanliness, thank you. I don't think the cleanliness of her house should matter. I think we should just, kind of, I get it. A lot of people don't like Trisha, but I think that's one of the things we really don't need to have our say about. However, caveat, however, if something was like out of the blue dangerous, I get it. But to me, it just seems like a normal, didn't put the toys away kind of mess. So just wanted to get that out of the way now. So Trisha does get right into what's going on, talking about how this production company from Ohio, led by Mike Klum, reached out to her.
This is how it all happened. There is a production company based out of Ohio, and they contacted me, Mike Klum specifically. He has a whole production company, and they do like corporate videos and all that stuff like that. He had reached out to me, I think in January, and was like, I want to do a documentary. And I was like, oh, I usually ignore emails in general. I ignore emails. Especially if it sounds bad, but especially if it's like no pay, and also if it's just like this random person wants to do a documentary with me. I'm sure there are amazing filmmakers out there that I probably have missed the opportunity to do something cool with because of this, but very busy, obviously.
Trisha talked about how in January this company reached out to her, and if I remember correctly, Trisha Paytas tweeted out something in January about her having a big announcement. Could this have been that announcement? One can only speculate. It could have also been about this international reality show. Again, we can only speculate. Trisha then talks about the filming days for both the international reality show and the documentary.
Even now, like I'm overwhelmed not only by doing this documentary, but also then doing the reality show that's international, because that's like a whole month of filming. This is just 5 days.
Maybe I could be wrong, but 5 days to film a documentary doesn't seem like enough time. I actually kind of looked up myself online on how long filming should take for a normal documentary, and according to this film's website, it usually takes 4 to 6 weeks to get the appropriate information needed for a well done documentary. It varies, of course, depending on how long the documentary is and what it's about. But as I was looking on more than one site, it definitely has the consensus that it takes weeks to film and not 5 days. Now, you could argue that, okay, well, they also have to interview other people and all this stuff, but from what I understand, Trisha never brings up that they are filming other people. She does bring up that, she wants other people to reach out to this Mike guy and, try to be involved with this documentary. But it's just like, why wasn't this done before instead of now? Because if you're the main focus and this is the big filming time, which is 5 days, why wasn't this already done? So just a little bit confused on how their filming process is going. It just seems a little bit chaotic to me. So after this, Trisha talks about what ideas this guy had about the documentary, and something he proposed was squashing the beef and just confronting all the people she had qualms with. Trisha Paytas says that she didn't want to do that because she's already addressed things, and I'm sitting here thinking about a few things, right? One main thing being that religious era Trisha went through, where it seemed like every other week she was exploiting another religion as a form of trolling for views. I also started thinking about this skincare line Trisha released and how people were having issues with the person Trisha was working with. And there's also another situation where there was a school incident I can't say the other word, obviously, but if I say school incident, you'll figure it out pretty quickly. There was like the school incident, and even though Trisha didn't know anyone affected or was directly affected, she kind of posted this video seemingly making it all about herself and why she won't send her child to public school. I mean, it's one thing to say you address something, but I don't remember any explanations for those situations. Deleted videos? Sure. So she finally gets into what this documentary will be about, and she starts talking about this Reddit community that she says harassed her. She also brings up this Google Doc with all this evidence by this journalist she wasn't very fond of. YouTuber Adam McIntyre actually was one of the first people to talk about this, and he said that he did some digging and he's fairly confident that he found the correct folder Trisha Paytas was talking about. However, he says that form and what he read in that form, he said like there was no evidence of doxing or bullying of Malibu Barbie, which is Trisha Paytas's infant child, for those that are a little bit confused. So there was like no evidence from what Adam could see in this file that he was able to dig up. Not saying that it didn't happen, however, he is saying he just didn't see it. Both things can be true, by the way, so let's just, I just want to make that clear.
Oh, I have tea for you. So, remember yesterday she talked about a journalist who had, like, a compiled list of all of the times Malibu has been doxxed and bullied and all these different things? Remember that journalist who sent her that thing? Yeah, I saw the folder. I saw the folder. I asked for the folder from the journalist, and I saw the folder. The folder the folder is mostly times on the previous Trishy Land Reddit, not the Trishy Land Wifey's, the new one, different moderators. By the way, for anyone who wants to know what's in that folder that Trisha keeps talking about is the main purpose this documentary is being made and all her evidence. It's basically what was included in the journalist's article on Trishy Land from ages ago, and maybe a couple times where they're making fun of Trisha's weight or Trisha's lips or something like that. I did not see any doxing or bullying of the daughter, which she keeps harping on and on about. Again, that's just maybe I didn't look far enough, but I mean, I did some digging behind the scenes, I messaged some people, and I got, the contents of the folder. So this is the big folder Trisha's talking about, and it basically is just the OG Trishy Land information that was put in that journalist article, and I didn't see any bullying or doxing of Malibu Barbie that Trisha keeps talking about, the daughter. Again, I can be proven wrong, I'm just saying what I saw. Maybe there's a different folder out there, but from what Trisha was talking about yesterday, I'm pretty sure I got the right one. But again, I could be wrong. But I'm just saying that I didn't really believe Trisha in my video yesterday, and I don't believe her even more today.
However, like, this isn't me saying that the body shaming comments that were found in the folder were okay to that specific claim. Adam says that there is no merit to it. Of course, I haven't seen the folder, so please take that information with a grain of salt. But I don't know Adam that well, but I will say is I don't think he just lied about something that serious just to contradict Trisha Paytas, because the legal ramifications of that definitely aren't worth it to lie about. For the next few minutes, Trisha talks about Trishy Land, which is the OG subreddit forum that was mostly dedicated to monitoring Trisha Paytas. This ranged from reacting to her videos, to post on Instagram, all the way to the body shaming, as I've said. Trisha said there was also, doxing and posting pictures of her child, which of course is not okay. But I also feel like if this is the subject of this documentary, I don't feel like it'll be real received by like any audience. To me, this just feels like Trisha Paytas wants a reason to complain about this Reddit forum and just like a longer form. Again, the subreddit is gone, so all we can go on at this time is this folder that Trisha mentioned that Adam McIntyre said that he found. Later on in the video, she talks about what she talked about already, saying that this Mike Clume guy reached out to her and basically saying the first part of the video again.
So I didn't hire this person. This person reached out to me, Mike, who I literally met yesterday. He's with me filming this week. And he has a phone number, and he's like, maybe, I'm like, I'm happy to call, FaceTime these people. We were trying to even get like an in-person meeting with someone, because at the end of the day, I told him, and I'll say it to whoever wants to call and be a part of this, that truly dislikes me, that truly thinks that I need to be canceled forever, that my daughter should be taken away from me. What is, because so many people will say, oh, look at all her victims. And I'm like, okay, what victims? Like, give me that list. Like, talk to her victims, talk to this. Oh, Trisha's going to manipulate this. Record our whole conversation. If we call, if we FaceTime, if we set up something, record it all. Like, I'm so open and genuine and just throwing everything out there that I'm just like, talk to me directly. And what's so ironic about this is that no one will ever say, it's a scam, it's a trap, it's a puff piece. And I'm like, I'm willing to talk. I'm telling you, you can record, obviously it's going to be recorded for a documentary. So I'm saying, like, you call, I'll be like, hey, this is being recorded. You're welcome to record it as well. We're both consenting to record the entire thing.
Trisha then went on about how she would love to have interviews with those people that hate watch her, as she says. Personally, I don't think that's a good move, especially in this day and age. If you want to do video chats, whatever, I think that's fine. But Trisha mentioned in person, and it's like, if these people are so bad, like you say, then one of the last things you'd want to do is give them a chance to be near you physically. Maybe that's the crime channel lover in me, but I found that to be a bit concerning on Trisha's side. After this, she then says that this documentary is based around anti-fandom. So I'm not going to lie, I was fairly confident when an anti-fandom was, but I wanted to look it up and make sure that I was right. So the definition of anti-fandom goes as such. An anti-fan, hater, or like anti is someone who enjoys writing, discussing, or in some cases, making derivative works about a piece of media, but solely for the purpose of railing against or parodying it. Someone who poses a ship, a romantic pairing between two characters, is called an anti-shipper. It can also be a person with hatred towards a celebrity or icon. And then if you look at the behaviors from the wiki article here, it says like anti-fandoms can appear in many forms, from hate watching to snark. It is common for large anti-fandoms to gather in large groups, usually on forums and sites, to share their mutual aversion. These are coined anti-fan clubs, and some are substantial enough to become anti-fan sites. Behaviors of some anti-fans include doxing, stalking, spreading rumors, stealing their personal belongings or information, abuse, or physical harassment. Now remember, Trisha Paytas is saying that this group has doxed and harassed specifically Malibu Barbie Paytas, again, which is Trisha Paytas's infant child. Basically what Trisha Paytas is saying is that this group is so bad that they are hurting my daughter, which the people from the Reddit group have said that is not even close to true. There's no evidence of that, and if there was, Trisha, where's the evidence? And again, going back to Adam McIntyre's video, he said himself that he found no evidence of this doxing and stuff that Trisha Paytas is talking about. Again, just keep that kind of information with a grain of salt. I haven't seen it, and I don't know who to talk to get that information. I don't know if I message Adam, he would give it to me. So I will just go with, this is where I'm getting a little bit confused. So it's like, it's no longer about this Trisha Land Reddit, but now it's about anti-fandom. Something that caught my ear was when Trisha Paytas talks about this documentary, and she talks about how like people are scared to talk now because of this documentary, and I don't know. To me, it seems like this is all just like one big power move for Trisha. Like if you really think about it, she's kind of the one that's like fully in control of the narrative. Also, remember how a documentary is based on facts. So if people are too scared to speak the truth, then isn't that in itself defeating the purpose of this documentary? So as Trisha is still ranting, she starts to call these haters her fans, and that's why they keep up with her and her every move. But it's like, are they an anti-fandom or not? Because it's like Trisha keeps changing her words around every minute. So around the 17-minute mark of the video, Trisha once again talks about how she's not really looking to go into past drama, but she's fine to address it and talk about it with anyone, but also she's made peace with it. She's healed and moved on.
And what can Reddit do about it? That's the ultimate thing. And like I said, I'm not looking to go into past drama and stuff like that. I'm fine to address it and talk with anyone about it, which that alone is like, okay, I've made peace with it, I've healed, I moved on. But if like other people genuinely can't, or they're genuinely fans and they're really upset about something, then like, hey, if you're making 30 videos still upset with me, like let's figure out why, let's figure out this, or just so it's not a trap. Record all you want, like record the conversation, the whole thing. Like I'm not that person to be like, oh, this, that, you know what I mean? And it's not a puff piece. I'm talking about things that, I messed up on. And I feel like this was like my final, like I'm talking about it for the last time. Like this is out there. This is my accountability to what I've actually done wrong, to things that I've messed up with in the past. And
I hate to sound like I'm repeating myself, but I definitely remember when Trisha Paytas was playing Pokemon with religions. A lot of people on TikTok especially were calling her out, and she never really responded to any of them, just kind of move on to the next group of people to piss off. So then Trisha turned her attention to Reddit itself, and someone blames them for Trishyland and making all she's blaming Trishyland for making all those posts on her site, bringing up like the first rule of the Reddit site, which is, communities and users that incite violence or provoke hate based on identity or vulnerability will be banned. While I still agree Reddit in some way does hold some responsibility, they can only act so fast with the millions of subreddits they probably have to review to see if any rules were broken in the first place. If you're frustrated at how long it took for Trishyland to get taken down, that's fair. But I don't think they should get a lot of the blame as it's being presented by Trisha. Near the end of the video, Trisha brings up how one person agreed to do this documentary, but apparently they just went and made a video about it, then kind of backed off. She then talks about how she's not addressing this again, even though she makes another video on her channel about the documentary she said she wasn't going to address.
One of them did agree to. I don't know if she still is. I think she just made a video being like, they asked me to be in the documentary or whatever. Maybe she doesn't want to. And I saw some comments like, oh no, don't do it. It's a trap. And it's like, it's not a trap. You have a YouTube channel. You're welcome to record my conversation if I record yours. And then there's another one that was like, so she stopped making videos a couple months ago about me, but she was making like every day, like calling companies that would like send me, oh my gosh, like showing herself doing it, which again, a little respect there, because I'm like, at least she's showing her face. But she like, and he like offered her money. Like, again, I'm not paying for any of this. Like, he offered her money, all this stuff like that, to like have this conversation, but she like didn't trust. They're very paranoid and stuff, which I get. I'm a paranoid person too, but I'm making that offer again, especially to the person who makes videos about me and stuff like that. Your face is already out there. You obviously follow my every move. If you really have these strong convictions, like, let's have a conversation about it. It's the one last only time that I'll be doing it this week and addressing any of this, because at some point you do just have to be like, I don't know, and just let the universe take its toll. But if I can get something moving, I'm all about like, let things happen as they happen, but sometimes you can give it a little push, if it's a little push in the right direction.
Trisha finishes off this video saying that they're most likely going to put this documentary up on YouTube and that it should be coming out in May. Honestly, just from looking at the reaction so far, I don't think this was the reaction Trisha Paytas was expecting. According to Trisha, this Mike guy started to get negative reviews and stuff, pretty much alleging it was Trishy Land doing the negative reviewing. So that's it for like the first video I looked at, and even though Trisha said she wasn't going to address this again, she addressed this documentary again. So let's talk about it. And the next video I have to talk about is a 10-minute video where Trisha Paytas titled it accordingly what this documentary will really be about. And my first thought was like, what was the point of the other video if this is the real reason? So about for the first minute, I'm not going to lie, I was just kind of confused about what was going on. She showed that this was like day 2 of filming the documentary and showed that she was mic'd up under her sweater. Trisha then brings up what the topic of today's filming was, and she said it was about her addiction to food and her eating disorder. Saying it like it is, I'm just kind of confused because is this not about anti-fandoms in Reddit? Now here Trisha is saying that the documentary is also about her life now.
On one hand, we went in there being like, okay, it's about anti-fandoms in Reddit. And on the other hand, sometimes it's like kind of personal stuff. So today we're talking about my addiction to food, my eating disorder.
Okay, and Trish, go ahead.
Which I don't shy away from. Just for that, and Trish, go ahead. That's my cue. But I'm gonna post this video because I need a video, and I haven't been filming because we've been filming all day. But today's video, or today's subject of this documentary is like my eating, my relationship with food, my weight.
After that, Trisha says that the production crew asked her like her favorite fast food place, and she said it's like McDonald's, hence why she's eating nuggets and fries in the video. And one of the questions were about fries. Again, I just want to know the main focus of this documentary. Is this about Trisha Paytas in general, or is this about anti-fandom groups and how much they affected her? Because honestly, at this point, it just feels like more of a vlog that Trisha isn't filming, but this crew is filming. A bit of a bizarre energy for me is that after the director, I'm assuming, I think it's Mike himself, asked Trisha from outside of the car to describe why she likes chicken nuggets, and I was just confused. I'm not joking. For like about a minute, it's just Trisha describing a McDonald's chicken nugget and why it's good. The director shoots another question again, and this time it's, why don't you like using sauce? And then followed by, why did you choose Sprite? And the more I'm listening, I'm so kind of checked out because it's like, why are we really sitting here talking about McDonald's food? Around 4 or 5 minutes, we finally get like a glimpse of this production crew, and they have a camera on the outside of Trisha's car on her side. So like, if I'm looking at you and this is my driver window, the camera's like pointing inwards this way to give you like a better picture. And they're just kind of like legit filming her eat and talking about how much food she has left. This video is like already halfway over, and I'm still confused about what the main goal of the documentary is. And it just feels like a glorified vlog for Trisha.
I don't know what I got myself into.
We don't either, Trisha. You were supposed to tell us that. No joke. This is literally the last part of my notes for this video. No joke. For the rest of the video, it's just Trisha Paytas eating towards the production crew's camera. I'm not kidding. This happens for the rest of the video. And I'm guessing this is for B-roll footage because I guess they're going to talk about Trisha Paytas' eating disorder. So I guess they need B-roll footage for that, which can be the only explanation I can think of. So pretty much that takes us to the end of part 1 and an overall reaction to both videos about this documentary Trisha Paytas is doing. And honestly, I feel like we haven't gotten a solid thesis on what this documentary is supposed to be about. Apparently Trisha has gone on TikTok live to talk about the documentary more and stuff, but I think Adam McIntyre reacted to that clip. So if you want to try to get some sort of understanding, maybe try checking that video out of his. So let's just get into part 2 because I really am curious to see what the people had to say. And honestly, their voices matter in this instance too. So welcome to part 2 of this video where I think we should look at both videos and the feedback from both videos. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna be fully transparent. It was way harder to find positive feedback in these comments than negative. It's just like the negative comments were just like there and like the positive comments were like 1 in 10. So I thought it was kind of fair to look both at the positive and negative feedback like I did in my Jacqueline Hill video, because at the end of the day, I'm only one voice, but all of you are who really matters in this equation. So I kind of grabbed comments from both videos just to see where everyone is at with this documentary. So the first 4 comments I'm going to read are from the first video, and then the last 4 comments are going to be from the second video. 2 positive, 2 negative each. This one is saying, you know, Trish, don't let any of this get to you, including comments. Get therapy if this brings anything even slightly negative. I wasn't doing okay and I got a stabler medication now and I feel I can handle anything like her bring. Stay blessed. I don't know if I pulled up one of these comments, but a lot of people were kind of worried that this production crew wasn't as forthcoming as they may seem. Some people felt like the production crew was kind of laughing at Trisha and the areas where they were asking her about food and stuff. I kind of hope that's not the case, because if that is the case, that's definitely not what Trisha's going to want in the end. I really hope that's not how it's going to turn out, because that would, like, say what you will about Trisha, that will really suck for anybody. Especially if it's like a smear piece that some people were afraid of happening. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I can see the concern. And then this is another good comment from the first video. It says, like, you're definitely never boring. Whatever you do is interesting, so getting into drama isn't necessary. Be careful that this documentary isn't edited to make you look as bad as the initial angle was to bring up drama. I will say, I don't think them saying, you know, let's squash the beef or whatever, I don't think that was them trying to bring up drama. I think it would have been a great concept, to be honest with you. Like, could you really imagine Trisha Paytas sitting down with like Shane Dawson and just kind of like airing out everything that she had a problem with on camera, just to like finally get that peace? And honestly, it would be kind of cathartic for her, I think. Trisha Paytas said she's kind of moved on from it, and you know, we have to take what she says at face value, but it would have definitely been like one of those things that was interesting to see. It also would have showed Trisha's growth. Definitely felt like a missed opportunity. And then we get to the negative side, which is from the first video, which reads, weren't you the one saying to James Charles, the Vlog Squad, Gabby Hanna, that they are public figures and people can talk about them whenever they like it or not? Oh, whether they like it or not. Sorry about that. Were you not the person just about 2 years ago that was admitting to follow a snark Tumblr / subreddit about the Vlog Squad? So it's fine when it happens to others. You even go there and read exposés on other influencers. But when it happens to you, it's like, oh God, no, something needs to be done. Get a grip. Fully transparent, I did not know that part. So if that is true, that she was all about this stuff 2 years ago at that, I can see why now people are having this criticism that, you know, Trisha Paytas is trying to make herself look like the perfect victim in all this. And if she was someone that participated in this kind of activity a couple years ago, I can see why people will be upset that she's trying to say, oh no, Reddits are actually bad, which again would be kind of confusing. And then this one comment is talking about the trolling that Trisha Paytas finally admitted that she does. This person is saying, you know, bullying sucks, but there comes a time where you have to face up to what you've done. You've done a lot of bad things and you can't just wish them away. Say it was just trolling or acting like it was no longer ago than it was. You can't like everyone's just making things up because they're just cruel and nasty. Sure, some people are horrible people, but I'm not horrible, and I'm upset by the things you've done that you refuse to fully acknowledge or apologize for. You can't abuse people and say it was just a joke. Stop excusing it all as trolling. Don't want to bring this up anymore, but I'm going to. The whole thing with the religion thing, and like everybody really had like legitimate issues with what Trisha Paytas was doing, and they were, I will say, a lot of them were just like normal people that were just kind of saying, hey Trish, you know, we're all not like spooky scary people like you keep trying to present us to be. It's really offensive. Could you like please educate yourself? And things like that. And then we're gonna go to the video where she's eating in the car with the McDonald's and stuff. And this comment here is saying, you know, Trish, be real and stay true to you and yourself. You know how producers and this type of television works. Don't let them control the narrative because they will show old Trish. And I am very curious about what kind of footage they're going to use for this documentary. Again, to me, it felt like Trisha Paytas was in charge, but then looking at this video, it's kind of like, I don't know, is it like a co-thing where both of them are in charge and they want to kind of set their own scenes? The whole questionnaire about the McDonald's thing really did seem weird, but I've learned to trust the process with things like that, so I'm not going to write it off as them trying to, you know, stir up anything or try to like get a reaction out of Trisha Paytas. But I will say it was weird. This comment says, I hope they don't do what they did to Teal Swan, but either way, people aren't going to watch it. Just stay true to you and keep your mental health good. We love you. I will say, I really do hope, you know, whatever Trisha's goal is, I hope she kind of accomplishes it. She said she really was kind of against doing something like this, from what I remember, and I really hate to see like this production company just kind of like, I don't know, use her, expose her, whatever you want to call it. I just don't think that would be good for anybody involved. So I just hope this group just kind of like does what they're supposed to do, whether they were paid or not, whether Trisha was invited or not. I just hope they do their job. No shenanigans. So, and of course you have this comment here that says, is she serious? I feel like the cameramen are making fun of her. Imagine what they are thinking. This is horrifying. You have to watch the video to understand the way they were kind of asking her questions about like, you know, the McDonald's and stuff. I haven't been diagnosed with an eating disorder or whatever, but I have been told multiple times that I seem to have the tendencies of, I don't know how to say it without, you know, upsetting anyone. I have been told that I display the characteristics. I don't know. I mean, I do say, I do some things that I can see that, but I really hope that this camera crew was not taking advantage of that, because if they were, horrible people. And then this last comment, I think, you know, this kind of sums up a lot of people's feelings. This person is saying, this is probably the worst thing you could have ever signed up for. Mike Klum posted how this production company is looking for Reddit people to come forward. The way he described being over your house and what he called and said about you was just horrible. I kind of looked around for this specifically. I didn't see anything that he said. I do know that he is looking for Reddit people to contact him for this documentary, but I didn't see anything about him saying anything about Trisha Paytas in her house. So again, take that kind of information with a grain of salt. I think the overall consensus is, even the people that have negative feelings about this documentary are still kind of like, watch out for these guys. Maybe they found something that I didn't find. But it seems like the consensus is, that Trisha Paytas should definitely be careful. I will say my gut feeling when I think they went into her car or something and they kind of like stuck a camera in her face like for 3 solid minutes at the end, like I told you guys about in the last part. But it was something like very uncomfortable about that, and I could not explain why. I mean, Trisha Paytas played into it, so maybe there's more to this documentary that she just hasn't talked about, or I haven't seen. Like I said, trust the process. If it comes out and it's just like making fun of Trisha, then people are right to slam this group. But as of right now, we do not know. That's pretty much the end of part 2. I just wanted to read some comments from the 2 videos just to see the perspective of everyone right now. A lot of the comments were very negative. So it was kind of hard to it was very hard to find some good in there, but I definitely, I wanted to find some good because, there are people that still are big fans of Trisha Paytas, and I think, their voices still, in a way, deserve to be heard, just like the people that are against Trisha Paytas and, whatever she's trying to do with this documentary. So that leads us to the end of part 2, and then in part 3 is more of like an open conversation where we're just going to talk about this Clum group and what direction I think they should have taken, and this is like a personal opinion. So welcome to part 3, where I really don't have any notes. It's just more so of an open discussion, and this is like titled A Different Direction. So from what I understand so far, this documentary is going to be about, Trisha's personal life, and also, anti-fandoms, and now how they can be really negative and mean, and how they can affect everyday people, not just influencers. So I kind of wanted to look at this Mike Clum guy and his website that I was able to find, and I just wanted to show you guys up here the things I found as well, because I did find a few things that were interesting that maybe contradict what Trisha Paytas said in her original video about all this. So I just want to pull up, Mike Clum's Instagram, and he's verified, but only has less than 2,000 subscribers. Now, he's probably verified because he has a legitimate company, a legitimate business, so I can see why he would get that blue check mark. But looking at the engagement under his posts, which I'm not really going to show, there's really nothing there, which is the point. Looking at the engagement under his posts, there's not really much there. I did see a few people that came from Trisha's video under one of his posts saying, hey, I would love to be in this documentary, talking about the Reddit stuff. I was definitely a part of it. But I only saw like 2 or 3 people say that. So I decided, okay, let me look up this Mike Clum guy's website. And when I looked it up, it was under Clum Group, which he is the owner, CEO of, whatever. And he actually has a contact page, and I'm going to show you up right here. He has a contact page. It's from Ohio. That does check out, so you can give him a phone call and all that stuff. But what made it a little bit interesting is that you can reach out to them, because you can reach out to them to get something started for you. And what makes this important is because what I'm about to show here is that he has a pricing list, or his rules or whatever for pricing. And I think about when Trisha Paytas said, I'm not getting paid for this. And I was kind of like, okay. I think Peter Mon said something about it in his video about this, is it possible, and of course the Trisha fans, if they made it this far, are going to be upset about this, is it possible that Trisha Paytas actually reached out to this group first and kind of wanted to get a documentary done on her, and that's why she's not getting paid, but she probably paid them to do this video? I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying this is a group that you can pay to do a video for you. So I found that a little interesting. Not saying that's true, not true. Just putting that out there. And then I'm just gonna show some examples of what they have done so far. These are screenshots, not clickable links or whatever, but they have done a lot of different things, and they have like 600 employees from what I also understand as well. I'm just more so curious that, you know, why this group in Ohio, if what Trisha Paytas says is true, if this group in Ohio, what would make them want to reach out to Trisha Paytas? Not saying that, you know, Trisha Paytas is, you know, boring or whatever, but what I'm saying is they're not even like in the same state. So what made this Mike Clume guy be like, oh, this Trisha Paytas person, I definitely want to reach out to her? Could it be just like a random Hail Mary, he sent her a message and she replied to it? Could be. But again, we'll never really know. And that's just kind of the end of screenshots and notes, so you're pretty much just gonna get me for the rest of the video. So from what I understand, this is about anti-fandoms, this is about a little bit of Trisha Paytas' life and her struggles. But let's go back to what could be better, what could be different, and let's go back to the original idea of squashing the beef. I, for one, think that's actually a great idea. It definitely, if Trisha Paytas definitely wants to be seen in a better light and all that stuff. Also, my cat is here, he me out. Are you okay? He's okay. He's just, it's 3 in the morning. We're all tired. I probably woke them up, so. Like, imagine Trisha Paytas sitting down with Jeffree Star, talking about everything Hereby J said about her, and just kind of like putting Jeffree Star on the spot, be like, you know, hey, your hairdresser kind of said a lot of mean things about me at the time, and I really didn't appreciate it, and it felt like you co-signed it, and, you know, I'm willing to forgive you if you just, you know, want to like let bygones be bygones now, no more snarky mean girl attitude. Doubtful Jeffree Star would go for it, but like that will be really like a powerful moment. And it's not really more so bringing up drama, but like, could you imagine just closing all these chapters of these skeletons that are in your closet? I think that will be phenomenal. Now, going back to what I think Trisha Paytas could have done and like this group could have done better, I think the focus should have been on one thing, and that one thing, if we're gonna talk about, you know, subreddits and like, you know, the doxing and all that stuff, we could have made this about cyberbullying in general, and like have Trisha Paytas be the main focus and have her be like, you know, I was a victim of cyberbullying, it really hurts, you know, being a celebrity doesn't mean I'm, you know, I don't feel these things, I don't get hurt. Just kind of like making herself, you know, relative to, you know, people that get cyberbullied like every day, that don't have a following. And I think that like the anti-bullying message could have been way better. You could have brought in experts, especially law experts, because I know she asked about legality of Reddit and, you know, can she, like, is it legal for them to do most of the things that they're doing? Could have brought in a legal expert on cyberbullying and just like really broke it down. That would have been dope. Have maybe some of her, you know, influencer friends that have dealt with kind of the same thing just come into the documentary and be like, you know, hey, this is my experience with cyberbullying and this is how I dealt with it. You know, it doesn't just happen to, you know, regular people. It happens to me. Like, the message could have been really cool if this documentary was about, you know, everybody experiences this. I just find it hard. Maybe, how do I say it? I just find it really hard to relate to, how do I say it without sounding like I'm trying to be mean? It just seems harder to relate to just one person as the focal point of a documentary versus an idea, but also having that person be like, you know, the main focus of the documentary. Meaning, like, you know, Trisha Paytas is still, you know, front and center, but also, like I said, you bring all these other people that are like, you know, hey, you know, this is my experience, and things like that. Or even, you know, if you want to interview the people that used to cyberbully and be part of these snarky Reddits, have them come on, do, like, you know, no physical contact, like no physical interviews, like no in-person interviews. I think, you know, I still think that's not safe. But I do think it would be really cool if you just had, you know, like a FaceTime, a Zoom call with all the people that used to, you know, be on that other side and just kind of give their perspective of why they did it. Maybe, you know, Trisha said one person was just like a fan and kind of like, you know, got really excited that Trisha was messaging them. Like, there could have been so many dynamics to that I think would have been really cool to see that we just didn't see, or we might not see. Who knows? Maybe they'll change the direction of the documentary again. Who's to say? The last update that I saw on Trisha Paytas' YouTube was 5 days ago of me recording. So who knows? Maybe there can be a whole different shebang at this point now. Maybe this wasn't the direction that they should have gone with this, but they seemed kind of committed to it now. So, you know, I guess we'll just have to wait to May to see how it turns out. I'm kind of afraid that's not gonna give that powerful message that Trisha Paytas was hoping for, but I'm gonna be very optimistic for her. I hope it turns out well for her. If you guys want me to react to that documentary whenever it comes out, I'll do it. I don't know, you know, if I'm gonna have the same opinions that I do have now later. Who knows? She might just scrap the whole thing. We don't know. This is more so of a speculatory video and all that, but yeah, that's just kind of like how I feel at the end of this part. I don't know how you guys feel about this Mike Klum guy. I always get kind of iffy when I kind of looked on his website and it was only like 3 reviews and they all seemed like bot reviews. Not saying that they weren't real people, but they all kind of said like the same thing over and over again, and it was just 3. So I don't know, just trying to be very optimistic here. So we've kind of reached the my final thoughts about this whole thing, and this part's not going to be very long, but these are just kind of like my final thoughts on this whole shebang. I think Trisha Paytas definitely needs to be careful with this group. I don't know what it was when I was watching the video about them interviewing her about the food and stuff, like stuff in the camera in her face like that. It just felt very weird, and I'm only speaking from experience because I have had a documentary done on me, like a documentary segment, not a full documentary, but I have been featured in a documentary style segment before on TV. And it just, now that I've grown up, and I kind of wish that I didn't do it because it just didn't make me look good in the end. Because I didn't have control of the editing. I didn't have control of, you know, how I looked. I don't know if Trisha Paytas is in charge of how she looks and everything. But I definitely hope she has more control than I did. I was only a kid at the time, so, you know, my parents definitely would have had to make the call for me, but they never asked me, so I'm sure they never had power either. I'm very curious, again, to see how this turns out for Trisha Paytas. You never know, it might turn out great, the message might come through clear, and all the speculation will just be all for nothing, which, in a way, I kind of hope that's what it is. I know people probably think I'm like a negative person when it comes to these YouTubers and stuff, but at the end of the day, they don't know me. They don't know me. I'm just kind of like commenting on something that I found interesting. It's something different that I've kind of noticed. Definitely would love to see how it turns out. Again, I hope these guys don't try to take advantage of Trisha in any way and just kind of, again, just do their job. Who knows? It might work out for everybody in the end, and then we might see them again. Once again, it is Malcolm. That's me. I hope you liked, shared, and subscribed this video if you haven't done so already. Sorry that I missed a day of uploading because, one, I was just really tired, and it was my off day from work. So I really just kind of wanted to enjoy the day off for a bit, and I had a mental breakdown, so that's fun. Don't really have much else to push right now. I'm hoping to keep this consistency going. I'm really starting to get back in my groove like I used to. Definitely being in a second bedroom helps that I can just record at night. As you probably have not heard, there is no feedback because I don't have a fan in here, and I don't need one because the air conditioning is great. But yeah, I just hope you had a good time. I had a good time. Once again, it is Malcolm. That's me. I just wish you well. I wish you good health. And I will see you again next time.